Please welcome Gina Riley.
Before we start, I just want to dedicate this keynote to my sons, Keegan and Addison. Jenny, hit it. I know what I'm going to say today is not going to be popular, but we've got to go back to the office some of the time for the sake of Gen Z. If we don't, Gen Z will become known as the latchkey workforce. We expect our youth to go to school from ages 5 to 18 in person, learning collaboratively. But in March of 2020, my son spent the last 4 months of his high school experience sitting in his bedroom, learning virtually, and missing a traditional graduation. And then he went off to college. It was on lockdown the first year, and he spent that first year primarily in a dorm room with one roommate. Now he's faced with dread as he contemplates entering the world of work where older generations don't welcome working together in person. When your son, daughter, niece, or nephew graduate, is it your hope that they go back and sit in the same chair at the same desk in their bedroom? Surveys show that Gen Z want flexible work options also. They want to work from home about a third of the time. But they also want to work with experienced professionals in person. But we're very divided about bringing our physical selves back to the workplace. Why is that? It's because we have had this great benefit of balancing our work and our life priorities. We've had flexibility to work at home or anywhere else in the world, and we've proven that we can do it. We've gotten to the point where we don't want our companies to dictate our workplace choices and demand that we spend time in the office. But why are we so good at working from home? How can we be so productive and effective? It's because we had the benefit of entering the workforce and laying down solid work habits and practices in our 20s at a time we were still developing our skills. The reason why I'm effective and productive at home is because I had regular exposure in person with managers, mentors, and sponsors. They guided me, they helped me develop my leadership and my communication skills. One is here today, my friend Sherry. And they helped me blossom into the professional I was meant to become. If you think back to your early career, who was helping you develop those skills? And do you think that you could replicate those experiences through a Zoom screen? We all have unique strengths and personalities. According to Gallup's StrengthsFinder, our strengths make us 1 in 33 million people. That's pretty unique. So what we need are the older generations to help our next generation find their passion and purpose so they can bring their whole selves to work, utilize those natural strengths, and as I like to say, bring their awesome sauce to work. We want our youth to thrive in their lives and in our workplaces. This is going to require experienced professionals to help them identify what they're good at so they can skill build for tomorrow. When we do this, Gen Z is going to come into our workplaces and they are going to enhance our company cultures and they are going to strengthen organizational outcomes. Dr. Meg Jay, author of The Defining Decade, says that we need to learn, practice, and train our brains in our 20s with good work habits before our brain's frontal lobe fully forms. The pandemic is shaping Gen Z's outlook and their brains. This is a generation of people who are 10 to 25 that report the lowest positive outlook on life, the lowest levels of social and emotional well-being. And the crisis is so bad that in 2021, the US Surgeon General issued a public health advisory warning us about the mental health crisis with our youth exacerbated by the pandemic. Gen Z has been left to their own devices. On devices, they spend a lot of time in a virtual world, and they struggle to solve problems independently. Gen X is my generation, and we are known as the latchkey kid generation because many of our parents worked. We wore a key around our neck, we let ourselves in at home after school with no supervision. But we were not unsupervised, sitting in our rooms when we enter the world of work. My friend Sarah Johnston suggested that Gen Z may become known as the latchkey workforce, fending for themselves in the world of work. This is avoidable if you go back to the office some of the time to lead the next generation of innovators and disruptors.